Here's something nobody warns you about. The word yes can destroy you, not dramatically, quietly, like 1,000 paper cuts you don't notice until you're bleeding out. The ancient Stoics, those philosophers famous for enduring anything, they understood a secret we've forgotten. True strength isn't saying yes to everything. It's knowing when to say no. And right now, you're probably drowning in commitments you never wanted, performing a life that doesn't belong to you. Let's fix that. There's this invisible contract we all signed without reading it. Society whispers, good people say yes, helpful people say yes, successful people say yes. And somewhere in there, we swallowed a poison. That declining makes us selfish, difficult, broken somehow. So we nod, we smile, we accept. One more project, one more favor, one more obligation that has nothing to do with who we actually are. But here's what they don't tell you. Saying yes when you mean no isn't generosity. It's self-erasure. Every time you agree to something that violates your priorities, a piece of you dims. Your energy gets sliced up and distributed to 100 demands you never chose. You start resenting the very people you're trying to help, not because they're demanding, but because every interaction becomes a transaction. Every conversation carries the weight of what they might ask next. You can't be present because you're too busy calculating how much of yourself you have left to give. I remember sitting in my car one Tuesday evening, 20 minutes late to something I'd agreed to weeks earlier. Couldn't even remember what it was. My phone buzzed with reminders. My inbox screamed with requests. And I just sat there, hands on the wheel, frozen. Not tired. Beyond tired. Hollowed out. The weeks before had been a masterclass in self-abandonment. Yes to a colleague's presentation when my own deadline was screaming. Yes to a friend's favor requiring 3 hours of driving. Yes to organizing a family gathering I had no energy for. Yes to a work project consuming my weekends. Each yes seemed manageable alone. Together, they'd woven a cage. And here's the cruelest part. My life had become a performance of availability, and I was always on stage. Nothing on my calendar reflected what I actually valued. I'd wake up exhausted before the day began. My own voice had gone silent in my own life. That night, I asked myself something that changed everything. If inner peace is what I'm after, if that's the whole point, how can a life dictated entirely by other people's agendas ever get me there? It couldn't. Peace doesn't emerge from chaos. Clarity doesn't spring from confusion. A life shaped by endless accommodation will never feel like yours. We treat our time like it's infinite, our energy like it regenerates automatically, our attention like it's not the most valuable thing we possess. Then we wonder why we feel depleted, disconnected, perpetually behind. The burden of yes isn't dramatic. It doesn't announce itself with catastrophe. It's quieter. It's the slow fade of your own voice, the gradual disappearance of you. Here's where it gets interesting. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers we associate with endurance, they weren't advocating for martyrdom. They understood something crucial. Discipline isn't about doing everything. It's about doing what matters. And saying no isn't weakness. It's the ultimate act of rational self-governance. Do you really think they cultivated inner peace by agreeing to every invitation, every demand, every distraction? Of course not. They knew that to live according to your values, you first have to protect the space where those values can breathe. At the heart of Stoic wisdom is the dichotomy of control. Some things are up to you, some aren't. Other people's expectations? Not up to you. Their disappointment when you decline? Not up to you. Their opinion of your choices? Not up to you. But your responses, your commitments, your allocation of time and energy, these are your domain. When you say yes to something that violates your priorities, you're surrendering your agency. And the Stoics would tell you that's the one thing you cannot afford to lose. Then there's temperance, one of the 4 cardinal virtues. We think of it as moderation in pleasure. But the Stoics applied temperance to everything, including commitments. It means knowing your limits, understanding that just because you can do something doesn't mean you should, committing only to what serves your highest purpose and letting the rest fall away. Imagine applying the same discipline to your calendar that you apply to your diet. You wouldn't eat everything placed in front of you without considering whether it nourishes you. So why accept every request without considering whether it aligns with your values? The Stoics also practiced premeditatio malorum, premeditation of adversity. They'd mentally rehearse challenges before they arrived. Apply this to boundary setting. If certain people tend to make draining requests, prepare your response in advance. Script it. Practice it. When the moment comes, you're not scrambling or caving under pressure. You're responding from clarity and conviction. And amor fati, love of fate, acceptance of what is, part of what is. You have limits. 24 hours in a day, finite energy, a life shorter than you want to believe. Amor fati means accepting those constraints not with bitterness, but with gratitude. Your limits aren't obstacles. They're the boundaries that give your life shape. The Stoics would look at our modern obsession with yes and see a failure of wisdom, not because helping others is wrong, but because helping at the cost of your rational nature is unsustainable. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. Setting boundaries isn't about being cold. It's about honoring the truth of your humanity. You're not infinite. Your attention isn't inexhaustible. Your presence isn't cheapened by scarcity. It's enhanced by it. When you say no to what doesn't serve you, you're not closing doors. You're clarifying which doors are worth walking through. True freedom comes through limitation. True strength through selectivity. True peace through disciplined protection of what you hold sacred. So here's what you do. Script your number. Write it down. I appreciate you thinking of me, but that doesn't align with my current commitments. Practice it. Notice it includes no apologies for existing, no invitations to negotiate. You're not on trial. You don't need to prove your no is valid. It's valid because you said it. Clarity is kindness. A clean no, delivered with warmth but without wavering, respects everyone involved. And here's the secret. Saying no to what's misaligned is saying yes to what matters most. Yes to your peace. Yes to your priorities. Yes to the people who deserve your full presence. Yes to a life that feels like yours. You're not obligated to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. You're not here to be endlessly available, infinitely flexible, perpetually accommodating. You're here to live according to your nature, to cultivate meaning. Your boundaries are your responsibility. Your peace is your birthright. The Stoics were right. True strength lives in limitation. Master the sacred no. Watch how your inner world transforms when you stop betraying it for external approval.